Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. And Mhairi Black has, well, given her opinion on things, shall we say, quite surprisingly, quite open. Um, and I actually think for them, it may be the first time in my entire life I actually agree with something she's saying. But she said and had to admit, really, that the SNP government of Scotland have made a complete arse of delivering on all their promises. I mean, all of them, she's saying, going back 17 years, the full time, they've just failed, she said. Now, this is coming from, the woman that was voted in as the youngest MP, I don't know, in 200 years or something, ever since Pitt the embryo. But she said that Westminster, that Holyrood has very little power to change people's lives for the better, even when they want to, which I thought was an unusual line. She said that John Swinney is financially quite right-wing. If that's true, then good. You do need someone like that. And although he's no longer around to defend himself, she did have a little attack on Alex Salmond. I very nearly said Ferguson. I keep doing that. On Alex Salmond. Called him a charlatan for when he set up Alba. Now, she took, obviously, Paisley in 2015, quit at the last election, so just did those 9 years. But I think she quit at the last election because she was aware she wasn't going to get in. And she was right. She was one of the 40 what went. Her replacement didn't get voted in, sort of thing. But anyway, she was speaking on a podcast earlier in the week, which has just been released last evening, actually, as we're here. And she said she can think of many, many examples of where the Scottish government failed to deliver, as she said, over the last 17 years. And there's no getting away from the fact that they've had some good ideas. They've just been unable to implement them. And she said, and half the problem is that they don't have the power or the authority. And even when they do, they lack the funds. And she said, and everything is driven out from Westminster. She said they need basically to not bother changing policies, but changing procedure, as it were, in order to concentrate on one thing at a time and push that, rather than trying to machine gun everything and spatter it on a wall. Throw enough spaghetti at a wall and something sticks kind of thing. Only for the SNP, nothing has stuck. Now, she was asked on this whether she'd consider standing as an MSP. That's a very good question. And she said no. And the reason why is one of those things where I agree with her again. She said that basically, first of all, she thinks it should be flung out of the SNP because she disagrees with so much of what they are doing, and she disagrees with a lot of the people currently running the SNP. She said they'd find that there's too much just to disagree with. And she said the other main reason would be that the fact is that Westminster is where change occurs. Westminster is where it's happening. It's where power resides. And I said that in a video yesterday. I said you can tell where the power is because Westminster could get rid of Holyrood. Holyrood cannot get rid of Westminster. And she said, and it's that power at Westminster which fundamentally can change society for the better or for the worse. For the worse at the moment. That ain't for sure. She said Sturgeon and Humza Yousaf were both far left, while John Swinney, as she said, was far right. I don't think he's far right, centrist right. And that, she said she was political to her bones and she truly believed in a lot of the things she was doing. She said, but she knew that these things would never come to pass. The SNP just don't have the numbers, don't have the power. They should stick to running what they can run and stop interfering where they can't. There's a lot there that she said that I absolutely agree with. If she wasn't so obnoxious, I'd almost like her. It's weird, isn't it? I suppose leaving politics and leaving that toxic atmosphere may have cleansed her somewhat. Who knows? Just very strange how someone can change like that. But anyway, there we go. I don't know if you feel you agree with her. I think you probably will on some of the things. But, yeah. Don't think she'll be rushing back to the SNP anytime soon. I don't think they'd want her. Let me know what you think. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.